Hey, yo, peace, my beautiful people. I appreciate Sheku for letting me take the platform for a second, just so I can introduce a little further, deeper dive into reading your ads when you're getting back those metrics. So, right now, I'm just gonna jump right into it and go over into my own page. So, if I come in here, right, I pulled up just some metrics from last year. I didn't run any ads in Q4 and I hadn't started any for Q1. So I just pulled up something coming from last year about August all the way up to date. And you see like these metrics over here. So the point is like, how do we read this stuff and what does it all mean? I'm just gonna slide it on over and notice that I'm under my campaigns tab right now. So if I'm looking at my reach is how many people actually saw this ad, like how many people originally saw this ad, right? Or just the parts of this campaign. My impressions, it says it's the number of times that this ad was shown or seen. So there was 500 and so people that it actually got put in front of. 741 times it was showed. So then I'm like, man, hold up. So what you mean it reached 500 people, but it was seen 700 and sometimes? So then that's when you get into your frequency. Sometimes on the back end of your metrics, you'll see like frequency or so. It depends on how you have your tabs up here set up. But if you ever see frequency, if I was to do the math between 582 and 741, I'll say that my ad was showing probably 1.2 times to an audience of 500 and so people. So my average reach didn't really go past 500 people. It was just being shown repetitively to the same 500 and so people X amount of times. Now, when you come down into these other metrics, you'll see like on this particular campaign, my reach was 6,000, 7,000 almost, and that ad was shown almost 10,000 times. So by the time that this ad really got into like its growth right here, just being at spending at $50, there was some ad fatigue going on here. So that means I should have changed something, whether if it was the copy, the images, something. This ad was being shown exactly too many times, um, almost at a pretty much like at a flat 2%. If I was to say like this ad was shown at least twice to everybody. Um, so when we're coming through here and we're doing like cost per result, we always want to focus on what the actual result is that we're aiming for. So is this result going to be related to engagement, traffic, whatever your objective is? When we're setting up our campaigns and we're getting into our screen, say we're building brand awareness, everything that we're starting off with is pretty much top of the funnel unless you're retargeting your people. So even if you're testing or split testing a new layout or a new campaign, you always want to think that you're at the top of the funnel. So that might look like something of the sort like this. Let me bring it over into Photoshop real quick. Let's just say if we are at the top of the funnel and we're up at the top, all of this is traffic. So all my ads are literally geared towards traffic. Nothing else. I don't want to convert nobody up here and like us, they don't trust us, right? So then as for us as new brands, building that LKT is very important. So we want to always drive that traffic, and that traffic doesn't have to be to a sale. That traffic doesn't have to be a coupon. You can use your sales and your coupons at middle and bottom of the funnel because those people are already warm. So they're used to seeing your content by then. So when I jump back over here and I'm building out that campaign, even an engagement campaign, I don't see a lot of people talking about it. You wouldn't necessarily use the engagement campaign other than to introduce an idea. So, like when you have those products that you want to launch or you want to test against the market, you can get your feedback here really fast, very low cost. You can spend probably $5 and get like 10,000 replies if people like really rocking with what you're showing, depending on your target audience as well. So when you're setting up those target audiences, always make sure that you're inside your broad or your detailed targeting. Here where it says conversions, messenger, and instant form, a lot of people don't use messenger. You can close so many people in messenger, and then there's bots and apps that actually tie into your messenger that can close people without you even being there. All you have to do is set the bot up And then this isn't a bot that like troll and spam people or nothing like that. These bots are triggered by keywords, just like if someone wants to text your postscript phone number or your SMB bump phone number, and they like text VIP or sign me up, and then they just start getting the rest of that phone from you or that text string. So you can set these same things up in Messenger, and it will literally act like an ad for you without you doing nothing. It'll introduce the top of your phone, whatever that top of your funnel looks like. So think of like your emails when they go out, like if you set up your thank you newsletter, or if you set up an email campaign to where the campaign is just auto flow. Think about like your win back campaign in your emails, or your win back text message campaigns and things of that nature. So Messenger literally acts that same way if you set it up. You can also set these things up with Instagram too, but you have to set the bots up. So when you're getting back over into your data, depending on how you have, again, your reports and your breakdowns, it shows like this. So if I go over into my breakdown or my reports rather, I know that I can pick what we got, columns. Sorry about that. It's the columns. So if I'm in my columns, I have several different columns set up down here at the bottom. And depending on, again, what was my ad for, if it was for engagement, I can hit engagement. Now this looks totally different than it did before, because it's only showing me like how much engagement I actually got off all these ads. So if I come down here and it's like, bro, like how, like what the hell are you doing? You got like 32,000 engagement with this particular engagement or this post. You see over here, it only cost me 13 cents. So like I'm not spending anything, right? So if I actually bring this back out into my other window, my metric window, and it was like, okay, so what was this post? So if I'm doing 13 cent or even this post engagement, it cost me less than a penny just to do this entire engagement. I got like 49,000 people that it reached with 52,000 impressions from right here. We can get to that later in the middle of the funnel, because out of all this data we're collecting, you can always come back and retarget your people, right? So let's just say if we're looking at it like this. All right. When we set up that top of the funnel, we're focused on your traffic. We're gonna leave all traffic up here. This is gonna be Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. Whatever it is, traffic. We're looking at straight organic sources, how to get people to the website organically. From here, everything that we do in here, and since it is traffic, man, sometimes we gotta spend a little money. Run that paid ad on any of these platforms, even LinkedIn. On any of these platforms, just run an ad, because they all mean something. All data is good data, and I'm gonna show you what I mean in a second. So when you're running that paid ad, of course the numbers are gonna spike, but this is also going against your budget. So make sure whatever budget you have in mind, leave it there. Don't try to push it up. Don't get overzealous and say, "Oh, I'm seeing numbers over here. Let me spend more over here." You don't have to. Understand what season you're in and what phase you're in when you're running your campaign. So right now, if you're in traffic phase, let everything be focused on traffic. Do not start retargeting. So when you're down here and you get to middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel, all of this is retargeting. You're gonna retarget all the data and metrics come from these people up here. And then right here, this is where you can start offering your coupons. And then say you did have that sale. And this sale right here is like, hey, come over now and get 15% off. Guess what you can do at bottom of the funnel? You can say, hey, I got this sale going on. And because I know you rock with me and you've been here for a little bit, you can get this sale right now for $5 off. Or you can even tell them, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you 40% off. And at this point, you're looking at a higher conversion, because these people exist with you all the way down. Like they sticking through your ads, they're engaging with you and everything. So how do you find these people and how can you tell? So let's go back over it. Make sure my window is back. All right, cool. So let's get over in our insights. Our insights are basically going to tell us where we exist with everything. And this is what's going on Facebook, what's going on Instagram. My Facebook reach right now is down. My Instagram reach, however, is going up. I've been posting more reels over there. I've been engaging a little bit more. My Facebook page, I ain't really been posting that much. So it's down. And the page gonna keep it 100 with you, right? My stories on Facebook are going up, but my posts are trash. Again, it's gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm not running anything towards Facebook pages right now. But yet, I'm getting at least a 3 minimum post interaction when I do post. Look at my follower count. 1040 on Facebook, 276 on Instagram. This is very important. On Facebook, I have anyone between 18 and 54 interacting with me. So when I'm running my ads and people say, man, do I target Facebook? Do I target Instagram? Well, shit, that'll tell me on Facebook, 18 to 54, with a lot of my audience between 25 and 44. And if I'm being honest with myself, it looks like there's more men in here than me. But then if I'm gonna push my 34 to 45 crowd, it looks like there's more women in there than to me. So always pay attention to your numbers. You go over to Instagram, I'm only rocking 25 to 44. And all my audience over there is men. I'm not reaching no women on Instagram. So if I build out an ad for IG, I'm gonna do two types. I'm gonna do a broad one that go men and women because that one is gonna be like it's gonna be throwing that hook out there and say, hey man, let me get some of this woman's traffic, but let me create this ad to where it may speak to a woman differently than it speaks to a man. Because if it speaks to a woman, a man's gonna like it regardless. But if a lot of my ads are more masculine, you see my audience results, right? So if I am building out ads on Instagram and I'm like really just trying to close people, I know I'm gonna target men between 34 and 44, with a lot more of my money being driven towards that 34 or that earlier or later 30 age, right? Now, if I'm on Facebook and I just really want the conversions, I'm going to target women. I have more women engagement on Facebook. And then that way, too, right there at that like mid 30 area, one more again, if I'm targeting men, it's going to be after age 35. So it's like, damn, Joe, okay, I got all that, but how you split these costs? So when we get over here and we're looking deeper into our insights, right? Once again, there go your metrics. You don't have to guess about your data when it comes back. This is my potential audience reach. And with this, all right, cool. I know I'm reaching my people, my core audience, the people that I go and do pop-ups with, the people that see my posts or that I talk to or work with, or even family. I know that their eyes are on my content. It says it right there. I don't have to guess about this. So I don't have to ask my cousin, hey, you see my ad? They probably hadn't, or even probably didn't even know it was mine. And sometimes people text me and it's like, hey, bro, ain't this you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I got a couple ads out right now. And it just happens that way. But am I concerned with them seeing it? No, I want strangers to see my ads, right? And I want them to convert because I can always text them and say, hey, I got this little something going on. I give you a discount. You need something. Once again, if my potential overall audience is catering towards women, how do I get these women? I know in these cities here is where most of the attention is coming from, leaning heavy towards New York. The other one was the direct reporting tab. And then this one lets you know how your actual campaign or your actual ad was reporting as far as the stats. So you see that CTR, right? That click through rate. It's great. People are clicking through. You have a high click through rate. You also want the conversions. This was an ad I ran for my wife. Great click through rate, and we're selling her cooking guide. She's a vegan chef and she creates these awesome dishes. Last thing I want to show y'all is that when you also are in here for your reports, and I'm gonna go to that ad, and I'm like, all right, cool. How much did I spend on this one? $50. 9,000 impressions, $5 per impression. Man, per thousand. CPM is per thousand. So after every 1,000 people that saw it, it cost me $5. Now this is the dope part. Is that now I know I did this, right? I'm like, all right, cool. I see my audience and all of this. And I did this. And I'm like, all right, current audience. This is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm stacked against, my cities. Fire. Okay. What else am I doing? I come back over here. If I hit reports, when I spent up here at 80 in front of a 45 to 54-year-old, way better payoff. So then that's how you're reading the data. So when you pull all your numbers back across into that Excel or that Google Sheet, put your age group, right? You want to put your age group. From your age group, you want to make sure that you get all the data in there for your people and like what stores or pop-ups and everything that you want to do. So we're gonna go with age. We're gonna go with location, of course, right? Because think about it like this. Most people say you can't sell shorts in the winter. Other than this year, you don't really get cold in Cali. Not South Cal, but you can sell bombers all year round to anybody in the north, to anybody in the UK, to anybody in Greenland, Iceland, Denmark. If you're by the time that your content reach these areas and people are rocking with you there, you get the idea of what to push towards them. And that's why the location is important. You don't have to specifically sell what only US tells you to. And then even if you are doing that, you still have your reaches out to Alaska, Canada, Hawaii, Puerto Rico. All of these are different climate variations, so that location is going to always matter. Your age, as the more data you get back per 1,000 people, that's how Facebook and a lot of the other platforms are going to measure you. You want to make sure you're reading your ages and knowing what's happening around that age so that when you target that location, don't target somewhere where you ain't rocking with 25 to 30-year-olds and you target your new jumpsuit to them and they ain't showing you no love at all out there already. So don't waste that money. But if you do a test in a broad audience and just so happen to include that location, let's see what they're rocking with. At the top of the funnel, you can establish urgency. You're telling your brand story. You're doing all of this, but you're not really trying to close them. Let them get used to your content. Let them, like, even with the top of the funnel, if you want that ad to run evergreen, let them get burnt out on that. Change it up when you want to. At that level, I'm running that ad for $5 a day and I'm leaving it on. By the end of the month, I know that one ad gonna cost me $150. If I'm looking at my CTR, right, you don't want to use so much text in the image to where it's overbearing. Use enough text. Some people don't even put text on their images, but sometimes people have their phone on silent, right? Because they're at work or they're somewhere else and they're just so happen to be scrolling, your ad might pop up. They're gonna keep swiping. But what if you had text on the screen? That works the same as captions now on the screen. Most people watch a lot of videos and movies right now with captions because they know that by the time they hit play, they're not going to be able to just hear that. And you want to take advantage of that. So when you're adding your captions, you don't want this big caption, get my hoodie. Hood with drawstrings, and then have an arrow point to the drawstrings and be like breathable material. Have an arrow pointing to the sleeve or to your hemline. Active jumper or active wear. Let people know like you can run in this. Plus you can chill and use the direction for the things that can actually convey your message and finish telling your story. If it's just going to be a solo picture, but if you're running that video, let the video do all the talk. All of these things report data somewhere. You want to pay attention to your UTM. And what this do is like universal tracking metrics. I don't know if that's what that acronym means, but that's what I call it. It's because it lets you create tags that go on the ad so that when the ad reports over, you know exactly where that sale came from. And then it's going to say, like if it was Facebook and I set up the UT parameters on that Facebook ad and I put like Facebook, blah, blah, blah. This is the ad campaign name, blah. So let's just say Facebook don't record that sale. Sometimes it doesn't. And you're like, man, how can I tell if my Facebook ads are working? That's how. So when you get over to your Shopify and you go directly to that sale when that social channel had made that sale. So if it don't report Facebook, but it's not reporting directly from your site, it'll have that Facebook UTM parameter set up in there. And you can be like, oh snap, that's the ad. So even if it didn't relate back to Facebook, even if it didn't relate back to Google, even if it don't relate back to your Pinterest or your LinkedIn, you can literally track it from looking at your UT metrics that you set up through it over on Shopify. When you're just reading the data, you just want to make sure that whatever your campaign is, you're spending the less possible money to achieve that conversion of that campaign. Not conversion of the sale, conversion of the campaign. My phone ringing. That's my wife. I gotta go. Been beautiful, y'all. Peace. Enjoy the world. Love you.